What's up, adventurers? Welcome back to episode 7 of your daily dungeon. Proud to present the Curse of Strahd. So, here we find our adventurers recovering from a ghost attack in the attic of this creepy death house. I believe Amnon is catching his breath after having his heart stopped momentarily.
No regrets.
Not even one letter.
Not a single regret.
And then, wow, this family is basically like Where the Mill is, only they're significantly less Jennifer Aniston.
The killers. My dude.
Wow, that was cringeworthy.
This podcast has been canceled.
Sorry, guys.
So, I think I opened the stairs, and did I tell you that you saw anything in the stairs when I opened up?
No.
I don't think so.
I think
Okay.
You just said that they opened.
Yeah, so the stairwell opens up, and you see there's like a cobblestone spiral staircase, like a little stairwell that kind of winds down the this corner of the house. Inside the attic floor that you're on, the spiral staircase is kind of backed up against like the middle left section of the house. It's kind of closer to the top left section of the house. Like the house is a rectangle standing upwards. The spiral staircase looks like it's going to wind down for some time as you guys look interested in descending. If you have not rolled your short rest hit die, I would highly suggest you do so.
I don't believe in healing, okay?
I don't like that.
Just for viewer reference, how much is that?
It depends on your and second, your level. Everyone's going to have 3 of those, I believe, right? You're all level 3.
We're level 4.
4.
So yes, you're level 4. So you should have 4 of those, and depending on how many you rolled, you would have spent some of that. So depending on the last time you had a short rest, you would have rolled 1 or 2, 3, even 4. And now I'm letting you roll whatever you have left, as you can kind of take a break inside this, catching a breath. Once that's done, you just reduce the maximum amount of total dice you have for that for a short amount of time until the next long rest. I think traditionally it's 2 long rests, but let's just ignore that rule so you can have back every long rest. So, don't awe. You will be not doing that.
No, it was more of like an awe of like, aw, that's sweet.
So this cobblestone spiral staircase from the attic descends downwards, deep and harrowing. The steps are steep, and you feel as though you have to place your hands along the wall to maintain a balance almost, as each step is roughly about 3 feet down. Dijo, it's almost as if you have to basically reverse, kind of like wiggle your legs down to the next step, and then plop down, unless you hop down to each stair.
I would probably have. You said how far down was each step?
Each step is a huge block, or not such a block, but a huge cobblestone block, almost 3 feet in height from the next
Almost
step.
3 feet. That I'm 3'4", okay? So I have to like climb down these steps.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Dijo wants to try and look cool, so he wants to just like jump down each step.
You can do so with ease. I mean, it's less than feet. So it's not really much of an effort for you. You have a pretty high dex, I believe.
Yeah, I do.
So you look cool with ease, but I'm sure no one gives a flying fuck what you look like in this terrifying death mansion. So.
Hey, does anybody care how cool I look?
Yeah, no.
Not really.
I'm gonna roll a 20-sided die, and if it's above 10, I care. If it's below, I don't. That is a natural 19. I care. It looks good, Dijo.
You're pretty impressed, Amnon, that Dijo doesn't seem to actually want to look stupid climbing down these steps.
This guy is making me look like an idiot.
I'm gonna roll a d20, and if it's a 17 and nothing else, I care. If no 16, can't care.
Mel looks like he cares, but he could honestly care less.
And here you were genuinely concerned that DJ was dead maybe a couple episodes ago, and now you're just back to being indifferent.
He said that he could care less. You know.
I could care less, which means I care just an inkling enough. Just enough.
have exactly.
I also want to make it clear that I saw Dijo die, and I like took myself out of combat, and then Amnon fell over right in front of me, and I was like, okay, whatever. Just want to throw that out there.
I like how we're supposed to be magic bros, yet you don't seem to care about that at all.
Dijo has a special place in my heart. Okay.
Rude.
You can't see it, but I just
what?
I just dabbed. Okay.
Okay.
Gross. So, this spiral staircase is only about 5 feet wide in addition to being very steep. It descends for 50 feet. Deep, deep down into the bowels of the house you go. You feel as though the house itself churns with excitement as you descend farther and farther. Almost as if you are exiting everything you've known before. Changes around you. Cobwebs thickly cloud this entire area, making visibility reduced down to just 5 feet in front of you. The thickness of them permeating the air, the room. Yes, what'd you say, Spike?
Oh, I was just making the Han Solo. Yeah, I got a bad feeling about this.
Oh yeah.
Can I create a breeze that blows away all the cobwebs? That's gross.
You mean to tell me the big bad cleric is disgusted of a couple cobwebs?
You do not remember the side story?
Yeah, spiders.
Spiders, man.
I'm still waiting on that episode.
You'll find out someday when you're old enough. So, you get to the bottom of these stairs, and you see what looks to be like a heavy metal door. It looks to be like a thick ringed handle that you have to lift up and push the door inwards. It looks like the hinges look like they rotate inwards. Let's see, who's at the front of the marching file here?
I guess that'd be me, since
So you've got the hobgoblin at the front. Who's at the back? Maybe Amnon, not Amnon. Maybe Watt because he's the next tankiest.
Yeah, I'll bring up the rear. How many of us are there?
6.
There's 6.
That's what I thought. I'll be like 1 or 2 people.
Okay. Let's see here. Nork, you reach the bottom of the stairwell and you see this heavy metal door. Do you reach for it to open it?
yeah, I'm gonna check behind me, make sure
Everyone's ready.
the rest of the party is done, looking cool.
I'm gonna.
I want to check it for traps. Can I do that?
Check on the.
Swank, you're cutting in and out.
Sorry, I was just saying. Would detect magic detect something on the door trap wise if it was magical, or is it just to see if there's magic on it? Would I know it's a trap if I used it?
You cast detect trap.
Does
Swank?
Sorry, I was trying to think of a different way to word what I wanted to say.
You're checking
Does
for magic
detect
trap?
magic? Yeah.
I see. Yes, detect magic would work that way. It's up to you if you want to cast the spell or not. You'd be searching for something that I haven't indicated is there, but it doesn't mean that I'm not hiding something.
Yeah, it was just preemptive. Yeah, I kind of want to.
Alright, so, you cast detect magic. Are you gonna ask Nork to wait, so you can cast it as a ritual and not expend a spell slot? I believe that's how that works, right, Eric? I think you did it earlier.
Yeah, no, you can't. If you,
It's a ritual spell.
yeah, it's a ritual spell, but you have to. It takes 10 minutes to cast, or you can cast it as an action and waste a spell slot. Not waste, but use a spell slot.
I'll just use the spell slot. It's okay. I don't want to hold the party up 10 minutes.
Okay.
I would.
So you cast the spell, and you feel as though when you kind of are expanding your senses to look around the room, you feel the sudden rush of several voices permeating inside your mind as they all scream, "No, return, fall back, no." as if several hundreds of voices scream suddenly inside your ear. While your eyesight does not directly show you any kind of magic glowing or any kind of direct magical effects, you feel as though there are several voices speaking to you.
Like, are they speaking out of concern or anger?
Fear. You feel trepidatious in your attempt to open this door. You feel them repulsed by what's going on behind it. And for the most part, you feel as though several voices cry out to you that have been probably silenced throughout the course of many years. Whatever's happened in this dungeon, using such a spell has awoken them, and it feels like the voices are calling out to you to be aware. Do you voice this?
Yeah, I definitely say something's wrong. I don't know what it is, and I don't want to be here, but we gotta figure it out. We gotta stop.
Mel, you probably remember that this happened to you as well, a similar fact.
Mm-hmm. But okay, I didn't really explain that to anybody.
Yeah, you never mentioned it. You kind of dismissed it initially.
So it was like, wait, Davros, you just cast detect magic? Is that right?
Yeah, I don't know. It was a big door. It felt like a good idea. I hate this place, and I figured it was out to get us.
Did you hear a bunch of voices?
A bunch is a kind of an understatement, but yeah, we can go with it.
Okay. Yeah, that happened to me before we even got into this house when I cast it. So I'm just letting you know.
Yeah, something's not okay here. I don't want to be here, but I feel like we need to.
All right. Well,
can I just check it for normal traps? Just mundane traps?
Yeah, you can go ahead and give me a roll.
Thanks.
So you see Dijo kind of like roll out his thieves' tool bag and like pull out a couple of instruments to check the door. He crawls up underneath your legs, Norik, and kind of hops down on the step beside you.
What modifiers do I need to add in?
I believe it's you need a thieves' toolkit to do this. Do you have it?
Yes.
Yeah, so you just add your dexterity to push your proficiency.
Okay, so just have my dex. That's +4 plus. All right, so +6. 21 total.
21. Yeah, you examine the door, and it looks to be like just a plain door. You notice that immediately that it's unlocked as you kind of poke and prod at it, looking for traps. The door doesn't seem to be particularly guarded in any way, shape, or form. And Swank, you would note that there are no magical protections on it either.
Okay. All right, I kind of nod to Norik. I say, all right, it's good to open. So whenever you guys are ready.
I mainly just wanted to make sure our friend here wouldn't, disintegrate if you tried to open.
I appreciate it.
So you reach for the door, Norik, now?
But yeah, I'm pushing it open.
So, Norik, you reach down and you grab the door, and as soon as your hand touches the door, you hear, I guess the only way I could really truly describe it is a lot like the Jumanji drums. Not the same percussive effect, but the, you start hearing, kind of like this drumming-like effect in all of your ears as soon as he touches the door. And as you push the door open, unless you hesitate to the sound of that.
Hear this like it's... Is it in my head?
No, it sounds like it's coming from the other side of the door.
Assume the rest of the party hears it, and I'm gonna keep pushing it.
Yeah, you push the door, and the drums become more vigorous as you shoot, 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 and the sounds of ghostly chanting now begins to permeate through the hallways. You open up this decrepit-like hallway. You see what looks to be like perhaps earth and clay and rock making up the edifice of this entire hallway. A small stone path creeps along the inside of this hallway to your left and right. What you look at, Nort, is a hallway with small pillars making up the and holding up the roof. The roof is about 7 feet up above you, and the hallways are about 4 feet in width, so pretty cramped. And lumber staffs positioned every 5 feet on each side of the hallway kind of go down and kind of trace every single. Well, it kind of looks like they're forming small square segments every few steps. Does that make sense?
I'm guessing it's lit by torches. If I can see all of this.
It is unlit. You have dark vision, so you can see fine. So
Yeah, that's what I was asking.
it looks completely and utterly dark. Mel's pretty much been in the dark this entire back half of this mission so far, anyway. So the only thing that's lighting the way is Amnon's, unless the spell's been canceled.
No, I wouldn't have canceled it. No,
Okay.
Is it just one of my horns, or is it both of them?
just one.
That's
In that case,
irritating.
I'm gonna go even it out and cast light on the other horn.
And I dispel the light on the other horn, on the horn I cast.
Saves the concentration.
Oh yeah, it's not a concentration spell. Thanks.
Maximum frustration.
So, you hear the sounds of a young boy whimper behind you in the stairwell walk.
The sounds of what?
A young boy whimper behind you.
I'm guessing I recognize it as the kid we've been seeing this whole time.
Yeah, you see the young boy with the hood over his head, and he looks at you and he says, "Not in there. Not in there. That's where the monster is, mister."
What kind of monster is it?
He looks at you and he says, "I won't let you go. No more people must die in here." And he leaps at you and he attempts to possess you. And
Oh.
Okay. Does the fact that I'm an elf and charmed help at all?
No, it's actually a specific save. I'll tell you what it is here in just a second. In un momento, por favor.
Is it a religion save or something like
No, no.
that?
It's
That'd be fucked up for anyone that wasn't Adam.
no, it's actually a specific save. Let's see. It's a charisma save.
Charisma save? That's just the straight D20.
See if
I
you can
roll-
talk your way out of getting possessed.
11.
And 11. So the young boy leaps into you. You see, let's see here. Who's next to Watt? We'll say Mel's next to Watt. Mel, give me a perception check.
Oh, you got it. What's my perception? 19.
19.
Ah.
So you hear the sounds of the conversation behind you as Watt turns. You hear his footsteps kind of shuffle on the cobblestone path. You see Watt suddenly like slam up against the wall, gripping his chest as he kind of like holds his head forward. Watt, you suddenly come to your senses, and aside from kind of feeling a little bit woozy for a moment, you don't remember exactly what happened. Only now you feel scared of everything, especially your own shadow. And now you feel as though whenever things don't quite go your way, you have to weep uncontrollably.
No.
So it's the same.
Nothing's changed.
Djo, as you're standing up and Nort kind of like starts to enter into the passageway, you see the young girl kind of like creep up next to you, and she kind of like curls her fingers around your arm. You feel the coldness of her hand chilling your skin as the hairs stand up on your beard. And she looks at you very close to your face and says, "Please don't go in there."
We have to.
She looks at you and she says, "I'm sorry." And she attempts to possess you. Give me a charisma save.
Jesus Christ.
It's terrifying. There's only 2 of them, though.
Here we go.
Then their clones pop out.
16.
Hey.
Alright, you pass. As she attempts to possess you, you kind of like, she like jumps into your chest and you kind of like double over as you struggle for a moment. And you feel your hands clenching as she attempts to kind of like gain control of your body. And after a moment of great strength of will and person, you're able to force her back out as she kind of like hits the wall, and she looks at you and she says, "I can't let you die," and like she sinks under the wall.
Oh, so she's gone now. I can't say anything to her.
You can still speak to her if you want. You don't know.
I'll just say, like, I'm sorry, but we don't have a choice.
What? You feel the strongest desire to get the bones that you have in your bag back up to the bedroom. What? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, sorry. Can I resist that desire, or am I start walking up the stairs?
You will probably feel compelled to tell the party of your desire before you start doing it.
Okay, then I'm gonna be like, guys, there's something not right. Down there, we go put
Mel?
everything in the house back to the way it was before.
Mel, give me a religion check.
Me?
Yeah, you saw what happened to him.
I did. Religion's. Oh, it's +4. 20. Okay.
You highly suspect that that Watt has been possessed. Highly suspect. You saw what happened. You saw his physical reaction. You saw him jerking around. And now you see him acting kind of not like Watt. He's usually very confident and wants to just charge into, like, let's go to the 3rd floor immediately. He's not wanting to run the opposite direction of danger.
Okay. Ian, well, since the cat's been let out of the bag, so to say, and I'm a necromancer, okay, I feel like I would have some knowledge of possession.
You know that probably, especially with dealing with children, a child ghost, the easiest way to get them to retreat from the possessed individual would be to scare them out of the individual.
To scare them out.
Scare the ghost out.
Let me see.
You think about how there is a literal tiefling standing about 10 feet from you. The guy who has thaumaturgy at will.
That's better than what I thought of. I would have just started dragging him into the room until I.
Yeah, I was just gonna start pushing him towards the door.
Oh, no.
That's what I would have done.
I mean, okay. So yeah, I go over. And I'm like, Amnon,
Yeah, what?
do the boomy voice thing. Whatever you do that.
Alright, so I out of confusion I use thaumaturgy and I just go, "What the fuck do you want me to say?"
Roll an intimidation check.
Okay. Oh, I forget that I am actually proficient in intimidation.
I don't know what you guys. I'm pretty intimidated.
That is a 19.
Yeah. So what? You begin to cry hysterically and like recoil in fear, and fall on the ground, and like you're curled up in the fetal position, as Mel and Amnon and whoever else turns around to see Amnon casting a spell, sees a ghost curl out of Watt's backside, crying, and kind of crawl away in fear up the stairs and disappear.
Shit the ghost out.
Sure, why not?
All right, I just turned to Amnon. Good job. There you go.
I'm just like, thanks,
They-
guys.
Thank
No
you.
problem.
Don't ever cast light on my horns without permission again.
Is the light spell still active?
Yes.
Mine is.
Perfect. That's all I need.
All right, so Nord, you see this passageway leads both left and right. You see that there is a hallway to your left, on the opposite side of, basically on the opposite side of the doorway that you were from. It's like to your left, about 10 feet away, on the opposite wall.
Remember what the wise Duja always says. Good adventurers always go left.
Shut up.
So we go right.
Do I see anything to my right?
Yeah, you see there's more hallway. Looks to be like 2 more doors directly opposite each other. One on your wall, and then one on the opposite wall.
Sir, the door on the left or the 2 on the right?
There's also, it looks like the hallway turns left to your left. Like it looks like it turns back, going in the direction of the stairwell you just came out of.
Okay.
So like it kind of like curls around the house. It's like an L shape.
I'm just gonna check out that door on the left if that's the first thing I saw.
Okay. So you stalk across the hallway, and you kind of like poke your head in, and you see what looks to be like a crypt. A door hangs loosely ajar, and you see a picture that's empty. And to the right of it, you see a portrait of the man of the house with his curly handlebar mustache and a cameo of the windmill from the house. It says Gustav Durst upon the crypt. The dates are indiscriminately kind of worn away.
Yes, shit. I'm gonna motion to the rest of the. Do I what?
You want to roll an intelligence check at advantage real quick?
It's an 11.
At advantage?
Wow.
So you realize that you're standing in the family crypts. It looks like this particular area is where the majority of the family is probably buried. If you check these doors, you might find more of the crypts. The children's included.
I know anything about, or would I have any idea about burying the bones to put the children's spirits at rest?
Mel, Amnon, or Watt would have probably mentioned it at some point.
Oh yeah.
I'm definitely gonna go back to the rest of the party and I'm gonna, say something like, "Hey, I think you guys are gonna want to see this."
So he leads you out and he shows you the crypt. With one has no name on it. It looks like it's just an empty crypt, and then another one has a crypt with the father's name on it. So this hallway you lead them to is like U-shaped also, because it branches off to the left and the right. Additionally, and each side of the hallway has the names appropriately marked.
Do we see the ones with the kid's name on it?
Not in this particular crypt. It looks like there's only 2 crypts. There are still 2 other hallways in this particular area.
Okay. On kids' names are not here. I'm gonna check the other doors to find the crypt where the kids' names are.
All right, so you soldier on to the right then instead of the left.
Yeah. Or
Okay.
whichever direction this door wasn't.
Yeah. So there's it looks like you can see that there's some stairs. So you walk down to the left side of the hallway, right? And that's where the 2 crypts are. If you look on the opposite side of the hall, the side that the original door you came out of was on, there's some stairs leading out, and then back down the right side of the hallway. If right side is oriented from like the original stairway you came out of, you see 2 sets of doors.
I'm gonna check the other sets of doors for more crypts.
Alrighty, so you walk down, and let's say you're walking down the hall. Your right side is now facing. Your right side is now on the side of the door you originally came out of, and your left side's on the opposite side of the hall. You see to the left there's another door, and to the right is another door. Neither one of them are marked. They look like they're both crypts, though. Which door you want to try first? The left or the right?
Let's try left first.
Alrighty. So you crack open the door, and you see. Let's see here. Oh, actually, hang on. Everybody back up. I misspoke. That. So the second crypt I mentioned is the baby's crypt.
Oh.
Shit.
It's not the father's crypt. It's the baby's crypt. It says Walter Durst on it.
Oh. Is the baby in it?
You're gonna have to go inside and look inside the crypt, buddy. I'm not gonna just tell you what's behind the door.
Oh, okay. Well, DJ suggests that we go and take a look.
I definitely go in there.
All right.
I
DJ
also
follows.
definitely go in there, but with a little less enthusiasm.
I don't go there with enthusiasm. I go there with purpose.
DJ follows.
I know what I said.
So Amnon, you walk over and you start to slide the door open, and as soon as you slide the door open, you see a dust-covered with some stuffing kind of like hanging out the side of it, doll leaned up against like just the inside of the wall of the crypt door. So you open up the door and you immediately see this doll on the floor.
I don't like that.
Wait, is it this? Is it the Stitchy doll or?
Mm-hmm. It's the Stitchy.
Oh, fuck that. Of course it is.
Well, that makes sense, right? Because didn't we kind of figure out last time that the doll might be where the soul of the baby might be?
Mm-hmm. But you for sure saw a doll upstairs.
Yeah. Yeah.
This one looks to be covered in dust and aged.
Well,
I don't like any of this.
how did we we used detect magic on the doll, right?
Yes,
Last
Nick's
time-
spell would still be permeating.
Oh,
Nick, you would detect the magic of the doll.
what'd you say about the magic of the doll? Sorry, you cut out.
You would detect it.
What does it feel like, or
What school?
It feels
do I get
it feels necromantic in origin.
dark as hell?
Just like
I think of necromantic energy kind of maybe glowing like a green and black.
so.
Ian.
So wait, it is out of the bag that Mel's a necromancer?
No. To the players. Y'all's characters have no idea.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure before I said.
Yeah. Just to make it clear, I have not, like, my character has not revealed that to y'all's characters. So.
Yeah, I just couldn't remember if it was.
No, yeah, sorry, that's my fault. I let that out of the bag misunderstandingly. We'll get back to that at some other point.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, so yeah, let's kind of point out that doll does not feel good.
All right, Ian. So I went to go check out the baby's crib. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Is it like a casket or something in there? Is it?
Yes, so you see what looks to be like a small casket, maybe only about 2 feet in length, and about maybe 1.5 to 2 feet in width.
All right. Ian, pop that sucker open.
So you go over to it and you see that this wooden casket, which is just not well kept at all, just the wood's kind of broken and torn up, is sealed down. It looks like there's a bunch of nails driven through the top of it to prevent it from being lifted up. Mel, you feel a pair of eyes watching you as you start to yank on this. You kind of trace your eyes and you see the doll lean up off the wall. And its head sags down and its chin hits its chest as one of the arms kind of like wiggles its way forward, and it kind of like collapses onto the ground and starts to like drag its shoulder across the floor as it attempts to stand up, moving towards you.
All right, kind of back away from the casket.
You hear the doll kind of churn out a little as it starts to kind of like slide its way towards the floor across you. Deidre, you're watching this. It looks like it's like attempting to crawl its way, but because it has a disfigured like body side and the stitching's falling out of it, it has barely any ability to move.
I kind of step back and watch it. I'm just kind of like, oh my god.
Let's see, Davros, you'd probably be seeing this too. While Nork, Amnon, and Watt are all standing out in the hallway trying to figure out why everyone's kind of like backing up all wide-eyed. You guys would hear the infantile kind of like, like the sounds a baby makes when it's trying to like get your attention.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm assuming it's obvious who all else can see it.
Mm-hmm.
Ian,
I just start kind of like looking at them like, guys.
Ian, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Would I know, or what could I figure out how to release the soul from the doll?
Give me an Arcana check.
Oh yeah.
Would I have any like religion knowledge on it?
Yes, you can roll a religion check.
23.
Mel, you know that you could probably release the soul by setting it at rest, by placing what is left of the baby's body, which is really just the Stitchy doll, at rest in its coffin, which is sealed, so you'll have to probably pry it open.
I rolled a 19 on mine. Religion.
You could also cast Remove Curse, which I don't think any of you have.
That is third level spell. We are not that far.
Yeah, there was a small chance that you would have gotten that scroll. I was rolling for it. It was on a loot table.
Okay. So I see the doll rushing towards me, but it's going really slow, right? Because it can't move very well. Okay, how far away is it from me?
It's only about 5 feet. It's moving really. It's like creeping its way across the floor. You see stitching kind of falling out of it.
Okay.
You see its head kind of lift up, and one of the stitched buttons kind of pops out of it, and the stitching kind of like begins to like unravel its way across the floor as like one of the as like part of its head begins to sag down.
All right. So I'm like trying to think really fast, and I'm like, Norik, come here. Real quick. No time to talk. Come on.
I push my
Open
way
it up.
into the room.
Norik, you see this little stitched doll like oozing its way across the floor, basically, like its innards dripping out everywhere.
Open up the casket now.
So I go, okay, and I muscle the casket open.
Okay, you want to use a crowbar or a pry bar, or you're just gonna try to muscle it with your hands?
Biceps.
Alright, just roll a strength check then.
The best crowbar.
Okay, does Dijo see this happening? I'm
Yes.
assuming he does. Okay.
Yeah.
Dijo walks over there while he's trying to muscle it open.
Okay. What'd you
Right,
roll,
right.
Dylan?
I rolled a 13.
Yep, that's all you need.
Oh,
So
wow.
you kind of like yank on it, and the nails all kind of sprout outwards. And you bend the back of the coffin up. You look inside, and you see what looks to be like skeletal remains of a tiefling body, an infantile tiefling.
Yeah.
Makes
Now,
sense.
Oh no.
Okay, I get it now.
okay. Now, I turn to Amnon.
Yo.
Do you know Mei-chan?
I do not.
I turn to Davros.
I have Unseen Servant, though.
Unseen servant would work.
Ah! Perfect. Pick the doll up. Put it in there.
Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and I cast Unseen Servant, and I command my Unseen Servant to pick the doll up.
So your unseen servant picks the doll up and starts to walk across the floor. Stuffing begins to waterfall out of the doll. You see it funneling into what looks to be like an orifice of some kind as it disappears. Kyle, you can tell your unseen servant begins to struggle to take steps forward. You feel it kind of like magically begin to like stumble, and it hits the ground, and the doll drops into the coffin at the last second. You feel your spell expire way too quickly.
Whew. That was, not good. I mean, good,
Alright.
but not good.
All right, close it. Close the casket.
Oh, yeah,
So you shut the casket, and you feel like a of energy explode out from the casket of black and green billowing clouds, and the sounds of an infantile giggle kind of expels its way through the air around you guys, and you see like a blue light now shining from inside the casket as what looks to be like a small infantile ghost rises up as a beam of energy, kind of like brilliant in color, glows through the ceiling above you. And you see the baby kind of get lifted up through the ceiling of the casket, and it giggles at you as it kind of like spins in circles as it flies through the air, its little tail wiggling happily.
I'm gonna say something to it in Infernal.
Well, it's a baby, so it doesn't understand you, but yeah.
I mean, the fact that it's a tiefling, though, that's why I do it.
Yeah.
Perfect. Awesome. Teamwork, guys. Good job.
your unseen stuffing to death.
Hey, if you look at Dijo, you'll see him like standing there disappointed as he holds his crowbar.
Oh, I just turned to DJ. I'm like, oh, you had one of those?
I was like, I mean, yeah, but I mean, it's no big deal. It's whatever.
I'm gonna kind of get kind of cocky and go, not like we needed it anyway.
He's just like, I mean, yeah, I guess you're right.
Cries a little inside.
So after all of these events, then Watt goes down to that door, and Watt, you see the chambers of Gustav and Elizabeth Durst, the mother and father of the house.
Okay. Anything else interesting in this room, or do I just recognize them as not? Go check the other room.
Yeah, you recognize them as not the children. You're not gonna go look at the remains or anything. You're just gonna leave them alone.
I want to get the kids out of this bag I'm carrying as soon as possible.
Okay. So, you start to walk across the hallway, Watt, and you see the young girl kind of like standing in the hallway. The rest of you file out and see her standing there. She looks at the door and looks at you, and she looks to be nervous as you approach the door.
I'm gonna ask her, is this where the monster is?
She says, "We don't know. We were locked in our rooms for years."
And how do you even know there's a monster down here?
Well, the chanting, the ghostly chanting that has lived in another room probably doesn't.
That's fair.
Yeah, don't need to keep reminding you guys that thing, because just until I say it stops, it hasn't stopped. Just to let you know.
Okay,
Got
got
it.
it. So, like, the baby didn't help at all with that?
The baby did not help. Well, I mean, you helped the baby.
I mean, it didn't make the chanting quieter or anything.
No.
Okay. I'm gonna tell the little girl that it's all gonna be over soon and try to go past her into the room.
Okay. So you grab the handle, and you see the young boy now standing, like he appears beside you. He looks up at you, and he says, "What are you doing?"
I'm trying to fix this house.
The young girl and the young boy kind of both look like they take deep breaths and look at you, and they both reach forward and grab the handle with you.
Oh, okay. So we're pushing it open together, I guess?
Mm-hmm. So you push open, you push open this crypt, and you see the names of Rosavalda, sorry, and Thornbolt, both inside this chamber here.
If the kids don't say anything, I'm just gonna start grabbing their remains out of my bag and putting them where they belong.
Okay, so you open up Rose's crypt first, and inside of it, you see what looks to be like a small shrine with some feathers and a picture of the young girl. She's a very pretty little 11 girl, you can see, with a big grin, and she's wearing a nice dress, and it's probably the happiest you've ever seen her. She's just got a big grin on her face. She looks at the picture and like reaches up to touch it, and her hand passes through it, and she says, "Is that me?"
I'm gonna be like, I think so, yeah. from a long time ago.
She looks up at you. It looks to be like tears welling in her eyes. And she says, "Do you think I'll see her again? The me that I was?"
Of course. You, your brother, your baby brother, everyone, your parents. We're gonna make sure you're all happy again.
So, you see that her coffin, the lid is not nailed shut, and it is actually open.
And I'm guessing it's empty.
Yes, you lift it up, and you place the bones inside.
Yes.
After shutting the lid, you wait a moment, and you see the girl kind of like take a big sigh, and she kind of leans her head back, and she says, "Oh," and she vanishes from sight. The scene reminiscently replaying itself from the infant's room. You see the young girl kind of like rise from the coffin, her spirit grinning, now dressed in the clothing you see in the portrait before you. She looks at you and she says, "What is your name, adventurer?"
My name is Watt.
She says, "Thank you, Mr. Watt." She reaches forward and she touches you on the forehead and she grants you a boon. You have advantage on wisdom saves until your next long rest.
That's awesome. All right, nice. And I'm gonna tell her thank you, and I'll be like, all right, let me fix your brother now, and go take care of his remains in his coffin.
So, you repeat the same process, and the brother, you enter into his chamber, and you see what looks to be like a small shrine beside the coffin, with a picture of the brother, the young boy. Yeah, you see that his hood's down in this picture. He wears like a nice, like little button-down shirt and suspenders and some little like German pants to go along with his suspenders. He's got nice blonde hair and blue eyes, with a big old grin on his hands, and he's got his chest puffed out, and he's got a bow in his left hand in the picture. He kind of like steps beside you, and he says like, "That boy in the picture is so brave. How could you be wielding such a big bow like that?" To you, it is literally like a pint-sized bow.
I'm just gonna be like, well, why don't you go find out?
He looks at you, and he reaches up and he pulls back the hood, and you see like his nice big blonde hair and his ghostly form as he kind of grins, and he says, "My brother will be there too, won't he?"
Yes, he will. So is your sister.
He says, "I'm ready."
All right, then. Remains in the casket.
He ascends, and he kind of looks at the group, who I assume is probably filed in to look at this entire thing, this entire event.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He looks at you and he says, "My sister may be hasty, but she wanted to go. But I wanted to give you all a gift myself." He reaches out and he says, "Bravery is all I can offer you. For being brave enough to steal yourselves for this place, and to save me and my sister." He reaches his hands out, and you see like this gold dust kind of file out, a beautiful radiant light, as it kind of like shines out over all of you, and you're all given immunity to fear for the next hour.
Nice.
Tight. Like that.
He looks at you and he says, "Thank you, adventurers. Be safe." As he ascend out of the house.
I'm just gonna look at the rest of the party and I'm gonna be like, all right, so all that's left is the monster that's in this basement, and we can get the hell out of here. I sure hope so.
That was so quick. Like,
I sure hope so, man.
no hesitation.
Ugh.
Davros is all about getting the hell out of this house.
Yeah. Amnon is not far behind you.
Like, he's here and he's
okay with it because he knows he needs to be, but the second that's done, he's out.
Walt's just feeling content, like this whole house was worth it for that moment just now with the kids.
Alright, so what's next?
Well, you step back out into the hallway, and you see to your right what looks to be like a dining hall, grown and littered to your right, and then the hallway which stretches back around the corner to your left.
Hear the chanting, drumming, coming from a specific direction.
Let's see here. It's pretty difficult to get an idea of where it's coming from in this location. You think that maybe if you kind of look around, you might be able to pinpoint the sound, but for now, it's pretty distant from you.
Suggest, if we find the source of that sound, I'm gonna take off to, I guess, right where we came in, right?
So, no. This hallway is one long hallway with several branches off of it. You've explored the majority of them. You've explored 1, 2, 3 of these branches. There's still basically an open, like at the end of the hallway to the right from where you originally came out of, there's that dining room I mentioned. That's clearly visible. And then there's, to your left, that nook that goes around the corner that you haven't explored yet, also down that way.
Well, let's see what's
Okay,
in the...
if I look,
If you look what?
Eric, what were you saying?
I was gonna say, hey, let's what's inside this dining room?
Okay, yeah,
check it out.
let's check it out.
Alrighty. So this room contains a plain wooden table flanked by long benches. You see moldy humanoid bones lie strewn on the dirt floor. Yeah. You see that the plates all across the table are smeared with what looks to be like old caked blood. And you see a pile of bones strewn about the room leads straight over to what looks to be like a small alcove with a ladder.
Ladder going up or down?
Yes.
What?
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's not a ladder. It's a larder.
A larder. Oh, okay.
I'm actually not sure what that is, Ian.
Yeah, I have no idea.
It's just an alcove where you can throw shit. It's just like a trash
okay.
can. I'll just go with that. It's a trash bin. Here we
go. So there's just a bunch of dead bodies.
You see that there's looks like 2 exits aside from where you just came in out of this room. One on the direct opposite side of the table, and one to your right, about midway through the room, on the opposite wall over there.
Get any sort of idea, like what goes on in this room? Like, does it look, whatever ate these people, does it look like it did it more, like it had claws or something?
Let's see here. Why don't you roll an investigation check?
I can help him
21.
or not.
Yeah, if you want to help him, you can. You can roll at advantage, Don.
I mean,
Okay,
you already
right,
got 21, but
So, but I mean, I guess.
Yeah, then you. So you kind of look around, and after studying carefully and investigating the room, it looks like the cultists more than likely were eating, from what you can tell, probably the human remains that are here. It looks like none of these remain of the cultists themselves. You don't see any indications of robes or anything like that. You find like prison tatters and things like that to indicate that perhaps the cultists were also cannibals. But additionally, you see tracing from the opposite side of the table, coming from that hallway, what looks to be like a single, very wide snake-like line that leads over to the alcove that kind of parts the bones neatly in a path. And you see what looks to be like a dried slime almost in this path.
Fuck that.
A dried slime.
Definitely
You
gonna
definitely
point that
will.
out I'm gonna point it out to the rest of the party.
You see it leads straight over
I
to
wa-
that alcove with the lawyer in it.
Ian, I want to investigate this slime.
Yeah, I want to as well.
All right. Nature
DJ,
checks.
well, yeah, you want to help me?
Yeah. What's your nature?
Is it a nature check?
Well, yeah, it's a nature check.
Yeah. What's your nature? I get a +3.
I got +4.
Okay. Yeah. I'll
Well, I mean,
help- I'll help you
I
there.
was gonna say Mel does it anyway because Mel's the one who spoke up first about it, so you help
Yeah.
him Mel.
Okay.
That's a nat 20.
Yeah.
Hot.
So you can tell this is a central pathway, and whatever's over in that alcove has either been there a long time or it frequently travels this path. It looks like its slime is recent, and that's why you noticed it. So it probably is currently in that inside of that, and you see that looks to be like tentacle-like marks all around the slithered path, and perhaps what you find is a beak almost, like imprint on the ground from it poking at something.
A beak imprint?
Do you think?
So
do you think
tentacles
this is the
that-
monster?
Tentacles and a beak, and it slithers.
I lean over to Mel. I'm like, do you think this is the monster that we've heard so much about?
Yeah. Out of game, I think I know what it is. Maybe.
Yeah, same.
But I might be second guessing myself. I don't know. Gosh. Okay. So it's got. I've turned to the party in game. I'm like, turn to the party. I'm like, so whatever this is, it's got a bunch of tentacles and a beak. Some kind. Davros, does that sound like anything you maybe have encountered before?
Davros, roll a nature check.
Yeah, I was about to say, out of character, I have a roll check.
Hey, and how much of this floor is there to explore?
It's a dungeon. It's a good bit.
Okay, I was just wondering.
Well, the druid got a 2 in nature.
That means it was a crit fail, by the way.
Yeah, it was a crit fail. My nature was plus.
You're too disconcerted by the chanting to kind of accurately recall what this could be.
I just kind of give a quick dismissive. Nope, don't know. Sorry.
You see that he's more focused on the hallway, and each hallway is looking attentive for any kind of movement.
Yeah, it's like it's not like he doesn't care about your question. It's just not a priority.
Okay, so.
But he also seems like he doesn't know, like right off the top of his head.
Yeah, I mean it's fine.
Can I see if I might know, Ian?
No, I don't think that it'd be within a rogue's. I don't think you would have encountered something like this at all in your travels.
Okay.
How about me?
All right, now we're just cherry picking, guys. Come on.
Wait, we don't have a ranger? Yeah, I guess we don't.
All right. Okay, so you said there was more exits out of this room.
Yeah, if you don't feel like tussling with whatever is obviously in that alcove over there, there's a couple other exits.
Yeah, I don't really feel like tussling with that right now. We don't have to.
Like, is it gonna wake up and come after us when it's hungry?
Or is this the monster, or just?
There's a bunch of questions that I can't really answer because of just the nature of the dungeon. So
Yeah,
I think we're having more of this conversation between each other, not to you.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
this is-
I'm like thinking, well, like, is this the monster, or is this like a monster?
I
You
think
If it's a monster, then it's like, well, if we don't gotta fight it, I don't wanna.
same.
let me put it this way. Let me do some rolls. Let's get some wisdom rolls from everybody. Not
Okay.
I feel
not
like
deception,
using-
just wisdom rolls. Just wisdom rolls.
Oh yeah.
Davros personally is of the belief that one monster in this house will estimate.
Amnon just got a nat 20.
Okay.
I got a 17.
So don't worry about it, Amnon. You're of the monster. You will definitely know the monster when you see it.
Okay.
Well, it's one of those things where it's like, I'll know this when I see it.
I feel like the monster is going to be a little more magical and dark and spooky rather than a snake.
Out of character, it's definitely not a snake. In character, it could be a snake.
This could be a snake, even a lizard.
It
Or a
could be the.
dragon, who knows?
Where do you want to go?
I want to
Let's
see.
go in the opposite direction of this.
Okay.
So there's two paths. There's one directly to the right of the that you came in, and one directly across.
Just keep pushing forward.
Yep. The one directly across again.
Okay. So you guys start pacing your way down the hallway, and it looks like this it junctions off to the right. I believe that Nork is still taking the lead, right? Correct, Nork?
Yes.
So as you're traveling, the ghostly chanting is noticeably louder once you enter into this northern entrance. And as you enter into this midway part of the tunnel, Nork, you see before you, out of the ground, you step on basically the intersection of this area here. You see a pathway to your right, your left, and then directly in front of you, and then the way you came from. Each way is darkened. You see the soil beneath you burst to life as you see four ghoulish figures roar into existence before you in tattered cultist clothing, their bodies dripping ooze and blood, their faces necrotic and decayed, their talons long and scarred from many battles. You see one kind of like, as it's climbing up out of the ground, kind of like lifts the body of what looks to be like a recently dead adventurer, as it kind of like drags the body off to the side, chewing its mouth. You see it kind of like lean forward as the mouth is kind of like dripping fresh blood, and it kind of like pulls out some of the food that it was eating. You see the adventurer kind of look up and groan at you as his eyes, Nork, and he slumps in the creature's hand. The creature drops it and roars at you.
Shit, okay. So you said there's 3 of these guys.
There are 4. You can hear a 4th to your left down the hallway. So it sounds like there's definitely 2 to your left and there's 2 in front of you.
How close is the closest one? Because I'm gonna take a swing at it with my great sword.
It's about 5 feet from it. Like crawl up out of the ground. So if you were patient with it and let it stand up, it would have stood up. If you wanted to hit that bitch as it was climbing up, you could do that.
I see it coming out of the ground. I'm gonna summon my great sword to my hand and take a swing at it.
That's called a nope on initiative.
She's like, what?
I know that everything so far in this house has tried to kill us, and I'm not taking any chances.
Alright, roll to hit.
He's like, ow, that hurt.
Roll to hit. That's a hit. Roll damage. You strike it across the top of the head with your great sword.
Hello?
Hello.
Okay, everything got really quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just waiting on damage roll.
Okay, no, I just didn't hear any background noise or anything either. I was
I only
really
have
worried
one
for a second.
d6, so I had to roll it a couple of times, but it's 8 damage total.
8 damage total. Yeah. So you strike it across the top of the head, and you see that no blood comes out of it as you strike it. You see the wound atop across its shoulder open up. Not open up, the wound across the top of its head, it kind of like just splits the skin as no blood comes out. And it like hisses at you. Its tongue like unfurls like venom out of its mouth.
Okay. Do I get a sense of like attacks don't really do much to this thing, or would I not know that?
You can tell that whatever you just did pissed it the fuck off, and you could probably do it some more, and it probably wouldn't hurt. You definitely feel like your blow had some weight to it. It looked like you clapped it across the top of the head as it was climbing out, and it recoiled in pain.
Use action surge to take another swing at this thing.
Yeah, if you want to burn your action, sir.
You know what? I'm not gonna do that.
Okay.
For the
So
big boy.
we are actually out of time, so we're gonna go ahead and say that
What?
this is. Yeah, we're out of time. I'm sorry. So we're
Aw,
gonna start the next
nuts.
session with combat.
Wait.
4 enemies are bold adventurers who have just the souls of the innocent children of Death House. Tune in next week on Your Daily Dungeon to find out what happens to our adventurers and what more this dungeon has in store for them. Thank you guys so much, and we'll catch you next week on Your Daily Dungeon.